There was a busy town called Village Time, where everyone was always busy, racing against the clock. In the middle of this hustle and bustle lived a man called Noan. He was a storyteller by trade and had an unwavering love of storytelling, but his life was spiraling into missed deadlines and unfinished projects due to his terrible tendency to procrastinate. One day, while leafing through a dusty book in his library, Noan came across an article about a legendary artifact known as the Clock of Time. This magical clock was said to have the power to control time, allowing its user to stop, stretch, or speed it up at will. Although many believed that the story of the time clock was just a myth, Noan couldn't get the idea out of his head. Determined to find the clock, Noan began a passionate search for clues and followed urban legends from one corner of the city to the other. However, his search took him further and further away from his professional obligations and deadlines. He kept putting off tasks, believing that once he found the time clock, he could make up for lost time. After months of fruitless searching, Noan was exhausted and on the verge of losing everything he held dear. His relationship with his family was in tatters. He had lost his job, and his house was in a state of abandonment. It was then that he met a mysterious figure called Lady Tempest. Madame Tempest was a wise old woman who lived in a small house in the middle of the forest on the outskirts of the city. She was known for her stories about the importance of time and the dangers of procrastination. When Noan approached her for help, she told him that the time clock was real, but it wasn't where he thought it was. Madame Tempest explained that the real clock of time was inside each person, in the present, and that the real magic lay in how to use it wisely. She told Noan stories of people who had wasted their lives searching for something they already had. And instead of giving him what he was looking for, she gave Noan a different gift. An old diary with blank pages, and the promise that he could write a different story for his life. Determined to change, Noan began to write down his goals, dreams, and tasks in the diary. He strove to live in the present and enjoy every moment. Gradually, his life began to transform. He rebuilt relationships, found a new job, and most importantly, started writing his book with passion. However, he still had to face one final challenge. The temptation of the time clock resurfaced when he found a clue that led him to a secret underground chamber in the city. There, he did indeed find the time clock. Tempted to use it, he hesitated, remembering the lessons of Lady Tempest. Finally, Noan made a decision. Instead of using the watch, he hid it again, knowing that the real treasure was living in the present and writing his own story. He returned to the forest to thank Lady Tempest and tell her about his journey of self-discovery. Noan's story spread throughout the town, inspiring others to value their time and not give in to procrastination. Village Time began to transform into a city where people embraced the present and pursued their dreams with determination. Noan's legacy went beyond the words written in his book. His story became an example of how the true treasure of time lies in living each moment, appreciating the little things, and pursuing our dreams before time slips through our fingers. And so, Village Time became a place where people learned the value of time and never again procrastinated what really mattered.